Hey, we're back over here at the desk, well, the couches, and we're joined by Valyn after G2 picked up the win against Cloud9, and at some point, you got to stop, messing up my heart because it's just a little too much going on. My heart can't take it, Valyn.
It's a G2A, man. We're not good enough yet to just close these games clean. We're still trying to improve to get to that point, but at least we're closing them, so I'm happy.
Yeah, after the experience in Shanghai, did you feel like that, helped the team kind of become a little bit more like cohesive and especially after all that you guys went through out there?
Definitely. I mean, not even competition aside, just being in a hotel room with the boys, grinding day in and day out, like it kind of builds that team chem a bit when you travel internationally because you got to do everything together, right? It's a foreign country, so we were brought together. So that definitely helped the team chem. In terms of in-game, I think getting those reps versus the top teams in the world and even getting some big wins for us against the top teams really boosts the confidence. And it's like, hey, guys, like if we stick to our plan, if we continue playing how we're supposed to, which is like, for us, it's just making plans, keep the comms high, keep the energy high, we can win any match. So it was like a proving tournament for us, I would say. And
showed today, though.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that experience because I think it shaped me more in all aspects.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel content with the result then, or is there still a level of frustration because you were just like a couple meters away from the finish line?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, top three is definitely was like a stepping stone for us, so I am happy that we at least made it that far. But the competitor inside of me makes me want to lift that trophy, of course. I was frustrated after the Gen G game because that was a game I felt like we could have had in our hands. Like, I remember I had a crucial mistake. We had some like crucial mistakes that when you watch it back, it just like irks you. Yeah, because we know that if we didn't have that, maybe we could have won. I would say the last day we got completely outclassed, so props to Heretics. But yeah, I want to lift this trophy once, man. It's always a dream to do that.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So looking at this Cloud9 game and considering the time and preparation he had to have, we were kind of shocked because you guys were the ones that were taking risks. You implemented the Neon. Is that something that we're going to be seeing a little bit more from G2?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, not to leak too much, but we have been practicing hard. We haven't taken much of a break. I mean, we reset the sleep schedule early when we first came back, but besides that, like, we had both weekends we were practicing. Like, we had no days off because we knew that we were behind on time. These teams were watching us, prepping us all this time that we're in Shanghai, plus a new patch drop. So, it's been a rough week. I know the boys are like tired and stressed out, and so am I, to be honest. But coming out with this win today was big for us. Yeah. And once we reach this goal, now we can take an off day tomorrow and maybe revisit the comps and just get that rest that we really need.
Yeah. For sure. I think that it goes without saying that you guys have been through the ringer. You're feeling a little bit of that fatigue that we have seen other teams kind of deal with before. Now that you're in this position, though, and there was a discussion that was had about G2 being the best team in Americas right now. Is that how you feel currently, or do you feel like there's still just more?
No, I think we're still a bit behind to be the best team. We are great and we've shown good results, but the international event doesn't define us. Even if we had a bad event, it doesn't define us. We had a good one, it doesn't really define us. We just have our heads focused on trying to continue to win. And until I reach that trophy, I'm never going to say I'm the best. Right now I would say 100 Thieves because they're the stage 1 champs. And we're having these slow starts and hiccups in maps. Like you saw the Icebox look pretty bad. The calls feel good and the game feels like we're playing it correctly, but sometimes we're just making these uncharacteristic mistakes, I would say, and we're still trying to nail that down. And once we can do that, maybe I'll be confident to call us the best in the world, or best in Americas.
All right.
Yeah. For sure. I wanted to ask about the Icebox in specific because for a while in Stage 1, that was a go-to map for you guys.
Yeah.
That you were finding win after win after win on. And then I think there was, if I remember correctly, a game against Loud at the very end of the season where they had a convincing win against you guys. And from there, it just seemed like you haven't been able to remedy the issues that are occurring. What's kind of your take on that map right now and what's going wrong, what you're going to try to fix?
Honestly, it's hard to say because in practice, the map feels good for us. And we watch back the VODs and, we always come up with new game plans or ideas on how to play the comp again. Or not again, but in different ways to not be readable because we have shown it a lot. The double controller, double initiator. But, honestly, it's hard to give you the answer because I got to go rewatch the VOD and see what happened this time. I feel like every time with this map, it's something different for us. I would say, versus Loud, they just were finding holes in our opens, so they were able to get 5v4s like almost every single round. This time, they just exploited B and we're down 0-8. It's a new problem every time, but I think with that, we're just going to keep trying to nail it down until we start winning on that map again, because to be honest, I'm comfortable with teams picking it. They look at our results and say, "Oh, this is the worst map for G2," but I'm confident with our map, with that map still. So we just got to see what we got to do.
I wanted to ask you, actually. Sorry, I've just been listening very intently. I've just been, like, writing this shit down. Sorry, excuse me.
It's okay, we're still a player. We'll allow it.
Just player to player. But I wanted to ask you directly, because I think we all come to our own conclusions and think about, like, what y'all's play style is. And I've always seen you guys as, like, a very complete team that has many win conditions. Like, there are teams that are very form dependent on, like, pop-offs, like individual pop-offs, like this guy needs to get a 3K in this round, and then suddenly you win the game. But for me, I've always seen you guys as a very complete team, but I kind of wanted to hear it directly from you, like what you think your team's play style is, especially with IC as well.
Yeah, I mean...
Not to leak too much, but... Yeah,
well, humbly, I feel like we don't have, or not that we don't have, but we don't play to the conditions of like we have this star player that is going to fry. We feel like we're all equal, like skill, if that makes sense. We don't put anyone on a pedestal like this is our star. We have to play around him, and that kind of forces us to play a very team-dependent Valorant. Humbly, I feel like there are star players that can take over games, and we have those moments as well. But it's not like that's not our identity, and so we make sure that our wins are all 5 contributing. And with that, you got to nail out all the protocols. Like, you got to be very tight in your opens because you're not just sending one guy out to go kill everyone. You got to, your post plants have to be very different. You can't run the same inside post plant every time. You got to push more. You got to take more space, and then maybe you could fall off. Like, we go through a lot of team-based protocols that we try to implement from barrier drop until the bomb explodes. So I would say that, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, honestly.
Feels like you guys are the sum of all your parts.
Yeah,
rather than like one part being bigger. Like what you said, right? You don't really put anyone on a pedestal. Everyone's kind of just contributing equally to this team, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you see it with our play style, of course, because we play very pack heavy, very pack into insert. We don't like just having a guy fight by himself, or even Cloud9's a team who will like buy Oxy a gun on round 2, and we don't like to take those risks. And maybe it's good for some teams, but for us, I would say we just, focus on our team play.
All right. Hey, you know what? I mean, you guys got the win today. Yeah. That's what matters, right? We do have a question from Twitch chat. This one's from Mothman Moore. I know Mothman. What's up, boy? How you doing? With huge game changes, how difficult is it to rematch a team knowing they can play completely different than the last time? Which, for C9, you guys have met before. So yeah, how was that for play out?
I mean, my most recent experience was playing Heretics 3 times.
Yeah.
And
3rd time had to be a charm for them at that point.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think rematching a team is very difficult. As a competitor, and I'm sure Mel can also attest to this, like when you lose a match, especially when it's close, when you rewatch the VOD, you're like, dude, if we fix this little one mistake, we could have won the game. Yeah. And so when a team loses to you in a close fashion, and they can rewatch the VOD and say, dude, if we fix this one thing, we can beat them. While on our side, it feels like our stuff was working. Like, our stuff was good, we won the game. Maybe, I always, even in wins, try to learn a lesson from it. But, yeah, the other team feels more confident in the rematch. And also going into a new patch, like the question asked, it is difficult because we have not as much time to implement new stuff. They have all the footage on us because we just competed, and they can swap up comps. So we went into this game with the mindset of we have to just focus on us 100%. We can't focus too much on them, anti-stratting, whatever, because they could run anything. And so that was a big focus for us, just nailing down each part of our game to where there's no gaps, there's no mistakes that can be to happen. And of course, there's still going to be some, right? But that's the mindset when you go into these matches of you don't know what they're going to play, so you just got to full focus on you, and you have to live adapt. So that's where you see the IGLs have to step up even more. The team has to step up even more because you don't know what's going to happen to you, and when it happens live, you only have so many rounds to actually fix it. And I would say that happened to us on Lotus, actually, because they ran a double initiator breach gecko, and we haven't seen that. We haven't competed against that, so that was a match we had to just live adjust, and it all worked out.
Indeed, it did. Let's take a look at the standings and see where we are right now with G2's win against Cloud9. They should be inching a little bit further up, which they are in 5th place in top 6. Remember, you want to be in that top 6 because that means you can make your way over to the playoffs. C9, though, is going to take a step down a bit as they are 5-2, excuse me, courtesy of that loss against G2. So, yeah, there's certainly been some interesting movement, man. Want to get your thoughts, though, Valyn, on the weekend. I know you were watching a few of the games. Anything that caught your eye?
I mean, what didn't catch my eye, right? We saw Furia close out a 2-0 versus 100 Thieves, who are the defending Stage 1 champs, and I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Yeah.
But for them, you know, coming with a new player, new game plan, they look like they revived themselves a bit. So I am excited to see Furia be a better contender in the Stage 2. And the second game, I think people were surprised that EG won, but I always known that EG's a good team, even though they had a shaky Stage 1.
Yeah.
They're a strong team with really good chemistry in and out the server, so that result wasn't too surprising for me.
Oh. Real recognize real.
Yeah.
When you were seeing Jajima playing that Neon, was that giving you some ideas?
Oh, yeah. The round that he stunned the guy, backwards slid.
Dude, yeah, that was crazy.
Everyone saw that
was
one,
nasty
right?
work.
That was nasty.
That broke that dude's ankles. It felt so bad. He was like, what are you even supposed to do in that? It's just spray. Just like, hope you hit
known for
something.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this patch is really going to play into his hand, the ISO, the Neon. So I'm excited to see that guy pop off. He's my boy.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff there. Okay, well, folks, you saw the schedule as well. The matches are going to be on the horizon. Next week, though, we're going to have a massive week for VCT Americas. One week that someone could say is super. That's right. Whoa! We got the explosion back. Super Week is back. Explosion? Yes. You want to try it? Say Super Week.
Super Week.
See? That's it. We got it. We got the explosion. It's a great time to be alive, people. But in any case, though, folks, we're going to have 5 straight days of action, and all of it starts on Saturday. We have Evil Geniuses taking on Furia, which, I'm excited for that one. Yep. And then we'll get your Cruz out because Cruz going to be taking on Sentinels. Oh, I feel bad for Alejandro. He's going to have to pick his side there.
I've been looking forward to seeing Crew again.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, folks. You don't want to miss it. Super Week is on the horizon. Forget it. I'm going to say it a million times. Super Week is back. Week. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Take care, folks. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. This has been a fun rivalry that's been developing between G2 Esports and Cloud9. C9 getting knocked out of the playoffs courtesy of G2, and G2 being the team with the deepest run of any America's team in Shanghai, and yet still the respect not given to them.
Potentially with this kill, yep, dropped out. This is the nightmare scenario. Well, not quite a game sense, but a mechanical ability still this time. He has single-handedly won them this, surely. Question is, how does Leaf really tackle it? Anybody watching for this one? Oh, jumping around. It's a little bit messy still. Reinforcements arriving into the fray. Anybody who tries to take a step. Valyn forwards, just cleans both of them up. 13-11.
Good closeout from G2.
Left it just down to Moose now. Doesn't matter about the lack of weaponry because they got the man advantage. Spraying it through almost there with the transfer. Finally with the bullets landing. Shot from the Sheriff, but Leaf not expecting it. Look at it, man. Blinds it up. They lined up.
Oh, no.
Jonah P. Peeking out over the edge, dropping down, Lou. Okay, Moose. None the wiser, detained up. Right clicks, knife out. Shanking him in place. Cloud9. That's the way they do it!
Oh, that's simply amazing stuff.
It's blinded though. Parano, I believe, and just doesn't know which timing to take here. Oxy still hard committed. Doors open wide, not going to be met, and everybody falls. Great game sense there by Zeppa. Detainment here for Jonah P, and there's no chance, no shot, no world at all.
The spike could go down.
Leaf is so fast, man! And look at the spray down, the transfer itself. Leaf in a 1v2. Damage on the vanity, still with the ult. Into this post! And that's how it ends! Impeccable with the timing. G2 taking a series away like that. In a classic G2 fashion.